Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. For my first video of 2023, I wanted to give you my top 5 keyboard builds and knives of 2022. This would also serve as a pretty good reflection of my journey in custom mechanical keyboards and knives over the past year. However, I need to set some expectations. When I say my top 5 of the year, it's not about whether a knife or a keyboard was produced this year or purchased this year. It could be something that I've had for a long time. With regards to keyboards, it's more about the overall build, not just the keyboard itself. So in a nutshell, it's just my personal top 5 at the end of 2022. And don't forget, everything is subjective. Let's start with my number 5 keyboard build, and that goes to my Mellitrix Zoom 65. This was the first time I focused on a color matching build down to the switches, and everything turned out super well. This was also the first time I purchased Domiki keycaps, and I was blown away at the quality of their triple shot legends. My number 5 knife is the QSP Penguin, specifically the denim micarta variant. You guys already know that I feel that the QSP Penguin ranks super high in terms of value for money, and me being me, I purchased the carbon fiber scale version, but I found the scales a little too slippery, and that made me appreciate the denim micarta scales even more. Next up is my number 4 keyboard build, and that goes to my Owl Labs Voice 65. This keyboard is easily one of my favorites in terms of overall design and layout, with a really cool scroll wheel in the top right. But I've since rebuilt this a number of times, and I've really been enjoying this configuration ever since. While the PBT fans' twist keycaps are quite a good match currently, I'm actually on the lookout for a nice set of yellow on black keycaps, so if you guys have any recommendations, please share. However, I'm really particular about the shade of yellow. It's got to be a shade that is as close as possible to the Voice 65 yellow. Oh, and this has possibly my best sounding spacebar. On to my number 4 knife, and that is the Giant Mouse Nazca with the natural micarta scales. I've yet to do a review of this beauty, but I have to say that although I've had it for just slightly more than a month, I've been carrying and fidgeting with the Nazca ever since, and I absolutely love it. Just look at how the blade moves when the crossbar lock is actuated. My goodness. The keyboard build that's coming in at the number 3 spot is the Arco SPR67. This is probably surprising to you guys, but first of all, just look at how clean this thing is. I was inspired to have a full white build after seeing Duncan's white Zoom 65 build, and I absolutely love the white gold theme here. But I went for a silent build with the Haimu Whisper tactiles, also known as the Wuchue silent tactiles, and the spring mount system of the SPR67 coupled with the switches give this a really special typing experience. My number 3 knife goes to my Griego Knives Custom Achilles. I admit it's been a case queen for a long time, but earlier this year I took this out for maintenance, and when I deployed it, I felt the same awe that I did when I deployed it for the very first time. After handling so many factory produced knives over the years, handling a custom again is truly something else, and I still feel the same overwhelming pride to be an owner of this Achilles. Now before we move into the top 2 spots, I'd like to share with you an honorary mention. The honorary keyboard build mention goes to my Libra Mini. The reason why this gets an honorary mention is because I breathed new life into my Libra Mini after the second acrylic layer cracked. In a bid to cover up the crack, I took inspiration from Ura PSD's Libra and did this with some of Emma's washi tape, and it turned out way nicer than I could have ever imagined. To me, the Libra Mini isn't an easy keyboard to use, but now it looks so damn good. Also, I've searched high and low, but I just can't seem to find out who designed the Libra Mini, so if anyone knows, please share it in the comments. Moving on to the honorary knife mention, and that would be this non-flipper liner lock thumb slot Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. I've been seriously considering doing the flipper delete mod on one of my mini sheepdogs, but I never got down to it for various reasons. And one day, Kaiser themselves released a non-flipper version, so I waited and waited for specifically a non-flipper liner lock thumb slot mini sheepdog with a non-coated blade, and this was it. However, the detent on this is mad strong, so at this point it just gets an honorary mention. Kaiser has recently announced that there will be a new button lock variant with no flipper tabs, so I'm most likely going to snag one of those as well. Okay, let's get back on track here with the number 2 spot for my top 5 keyboard builds of 2022, and that goes to my Pixel Space Studios Endless 80. This build features my favorite Frankenswitch, the Holy Boba, which is an absolute joy to type on, but it's an investment that I will not want to make ever again. Anyway, the futuristic design of this keyboard is totally my style. It's even got this really sick LED bar on the back. Over to the number 2 spot for top 5 knives of 2022, and that would have to be, surprise surprise, the Chris Reeves Knives Small in Cozy. This was a gift from a dear friend after he saw how disappointed I was with my small Sebenza 31, and somehow the action on this is actually good. It's way better than the small Sebenza 31 that I had, and this has basically checked all the boxes I had in terms of expectations of a CRK knife. With this particular small in Cozy, it's not only a really good user, but it also means so much more because of its sentimental value to me. And finally, we're moving to the top spot. My number 1 keyboard build of 2022 is my KBD Fans Maja V2. Yes guys, it's Maja and not Maha. Look it up for yourselves, this keyboard is named after Maja Pahit. I've rebuilt it with the Gazoo Boba U40X switches. This is by far my cleanest sounding build, and with the tactility that the U40X switches provide, I found myself rotating back to this keyboard more often than I thought I would. Lastly, the knife that clinches my number 1 spot for top 5 knives of the year 2022 is, yep, you might have guessed it already, the Spyderco Para 3. But wait, this is not just any regular Para 3. This is a Para 3 that's sporting the Applied Weapons Tech Agent Series skinny scales that results in a liner delete for your Para 3. The AWT scales are just simply insane. Mine are the gunmetal grey cerakoted ones, and they have a really amazing texture that I can only describe as feeling smooth and textured at the same time. And get this, the scales are made of aluminum, feature internal milling, and perform a liner delete mod on your Para 3. All of that results in making your Para 3 not only look way sweeter, but also almost as light as a Para 3 lightweight. And that is it, everyone. Thank you for sharing in this slice of my life, and I hope you enjoyed my top 5 keyboard builds and knives of 2022. If you enjoyed this video, please clicky the likey. I'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to subscribe and hit the notification bell to turn on all notifications. It would really help the channel. Lastly, Happy New Year, everyone. Here's to a wonderful 2023. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy always, and I will catch all of you in my next slice. Bye!